faculty member that has been chosen by the graduating class. So let's see if you can figure out who it is before I actually introduce the person. So our speaker tonight is a homegrown talent. They spent so much time at Albertus Magnus that we're reasonably sure they may have a key to every door and possibly a secret code hidden in Aquinas Hall. This person is the ultimate triple threat. They have been a student, a staff, and a faculty member at Albertus, but not necessarily in that order. Over the last 15 years, they have held more positions than a Swiss Army knife, as well as, now the person is a faculty member, but don't let the business background fool you, the doctorate background. This speaker is a Division III volleyball veteran and a certifiable winner. While some people collect stamps, our speaker collects national championship rings, 3 of them to be exact, from stints with Southern Connecticut State University and the Yukon Huskies. And just like a Swiss Army knife, we're still trying to figure out which attachment is the most impressive, the doctorate or the championship rings. So when they are busy being a doctor of business administration or researching gender equity in collegiate athletics, you can find them cheering for the Falcons, the Patriots, the Yukon Blue. Or, and if this is real, a giveaway, planning the next trip to Disney World. I hear it's a family thing. They've led the honors program since 2020. They have served the Hamden Education Foundation, and they have been a full-time fixture of our faculty since 2015. Please join me in a massive round of applause for someone who truly embodies the Falcon spirit, Dr. Kristen.
President Camille, members of the Board of Trustees, faculty, staff, guests, and of course our class of 2026. As mentioned, I think you gave away most of my speech, a lot of that stuff, but I appreciate that welcome. But as mentioned, my name is Dr. Kristen DeCarli, Associate Professor in the School of Business, as well as the Program Director for Sport Management and the Honors Program. It really is a privilege to stand in front of you all tonight. So many familiar faces, a lot of students that I've had in different programs and in classes. This Laurel Awards ceremony is very special. It's an occasion that celebrates not only achievement, right, but the discipline, the resilience, and the persistence that made these achievements possible. I do want to start with a quote. Some folks in my classes will probably roll their eyes because they know I love using quotes in my teaching. I comb through probably hundreds of song lyrics and motivating quotes to try to find a really perfect one for tonight. But despite my love for K-pop golden lyrics or any Taylor Swift, I really decided that since I am the director of the sport management program, that I would pick a sports quote. Plus, before I came here, and really all week, my soon-to-be 12-year-old kept saying, "Please, Mom, don't say anything embarrassing." So I needed to find something that worked well. But Herb Brooks once said, "You were meant to be here. This moment is yours." Now, it's a very short, but very meaningful quote. For me, it resonates well, I believe. As mentioned, July marks 15 years since I've started at Albertus Magnus College. I've not only been, as mentioned, a faculty member, also started my time here as a staff member in the athletic office. I've been a student, as mentioned. I sat in a similar position as all of you, but in our older BCR, which was over there, before this beautiful remodel. I've earned my own Laurel Award as well. I've walked across the stage in front of Rosary Hall years ago when I earned my M.B.A. And I remember celebrating these moments, these achievements with my family, with my husband, my then toddler, as well as my friends, as you were all doing this weekend. So it's truly a special moment. Going back to school after 10 years, after earning my undergraduate degree, was not something I thought of before coming to Albertus Magnus College. But I really realized in that moment when I was here that I was meant to be here, that was kind of my moment to move ahead and to continue learning. I believe it was kind of the same feeling that I had 15 years ago when I started working here, coming from the University of Connecticut, and then 11 years ago when I decided to switch roles from athletics to move to academics. I really just kept thinking, you were meant to be here, right? This is your moment. You're meant to do this. We've heard President Camille and some others say that tagline, that phrase, be your purpose. And this is something that I've kind of been thinking about the last couple of weeks leading up to commencement and writing these remarks. And this is not just a standard phrase, right? It's pointing to a simple idea. It means do not just chase a purpose, but really embody it. Purpose is your sense of meaning, right? If you think about it, what matters to you, what you care about. Be your purpose suggests that instead of treating something as, distant, that you live it through your actions and your choices and your habits right now, right in this moment. So, for example, if your purpose is helping others, being your purpose means to show up as a helpful, as a supportive person every day, not just in big moments. If your purpose is learning or discovery, it means staying curious, asking questions, and engaging deeply daily. So it's less about a grand statement, but more about alignment. Your values, your behavior, your skills, and your effort pointing in that same direction. That alignment is something I talk about in my classes, and it's, something that really has, I think, gotten you here today, right? Everything aligning in that same direction. We talk about academic results. They're often measured by grades, right? By honors, by awards like you're receiving tonight. But anyone who spent time in a classroom, a lab, a studio, or a library knows that the real work of learning is rarely neat and linear. It's built in long evenings when understanding doesn't come easily. It's built in drafts that must be rewritten, and sometimes a few times, and in experiments that fail before they succeed. It's built in the willingness to just keep going, and not because it's easy, but because it's worth doing. Determination, many of you have balanced competing demands, right? And I talk to my students about it, your coursework, your jobs, your family responsibilities, or personal challenges. You face setbacks, but you are here. That matters. So what does this all mean, right, to carry this forward? It really means to continue to value learning as you move forward, not as a requirement, but as a lifelong pursuit. It means approaching challenges with the same determination that brought you here in the first place. As graduates of a college celebrating its centennial, as you know, you inherit both a legacy and a responsibility. You are connected to those who came before you, and you are going to shape what comes next. So I want to make sure you realize your journey matters. Your effort matters. The growth you've experienced here cannot always be captured in a single moment of recognition, but it is no less real. So in closing, as we look forward to tomorrow, I encourage all of you to take pride not only in what you've achieved, but in how you've achieved it. Make sure you carry forward the discipline you have developed, the determination you have demonstrated, and the curiosity that brought you here in the first place. Because this moment, right now, tomorrow, maybe even weeks to come, this moment is yours. So congratulations.